Joan, I can see you. Oh, hold on. One second. Sorry. Give me 30 seconds here. And my face and title, can you see that? Awesome, we're good to go. Welcome everybody, my name is Rick Redford, and from now on, Anthony, you need to train me better here. What I should be doing is waiting to set the record until I pull up the PowerPoint. I'm going to do that next time. So I'm gonna blame it on Anthony. Why not? So unless you've been under a rock, you know that we launched a couple of products last week in Fort Worth, or a week and a half ago now. And one of those is the probiotics. And tonight you're going to learn more about it. Dr. Ginger's going to be on in a little while, but this is just a slide to remind you. I got mine. I started taking it this morning. I can't wait to see some of the results that come from this. I think this is a great product. I'm excited for it. Also, the new Lucim skincare line, and many of you have received yours and started taking it. What beautiful messaging and packaging. Now, the world is launching it on October 15th, but we had a 48-hour window that it was available to purchase during the event, and then it will go live again in 2 days. So this Thursday on October 1st, it will go live, but a lot of the collateral materials, there is a launch video that is incredible. I saw it today. It is award-winning. It's beautiful. It's going to be available on the 15th when the world launches Lucim. So the good news is we got to launch it early because we had an event to launch it. We're actually going live with it early, 2 weeks early than the rest of the world, other than Europe. And we will have all the collateral materials, the sell sheets, the videos, everything will be available for you on the 15th. So watch for that. This is one of my favorite products. Now, the home detox. This is a perfect time for this. Keep this in mind, put in your notes next week. Next ARIIX Live, a week from tonight, none other than Deanna is going to be on this call. She's going to be talking about why home detox makes sense. And you will not want to miss it. It's one of those, going to be a special call. You won't want to miss it. Kind of like tonight and having Dr. Ginger on. You don't want to miss next week. It's going to be one of those for the record books. So don't miss it. Also, the Moa and Vinali, 2 more days, 1 more day, actually. Well, a day and a half if you include today. And all day tomorrow. And then after that, it goes off loyalty shopping. So if you have not been able to purchase Moa and Vinali, then you have a chance to do that by tomorrow, end of day. And then it goes off loyalty shopping, and it's going to be a long time before it's available at that price again. So I'm just saying, if you don't have it. Also, the new Elite, this is just a reminder that the new Elite formula, and Cindy, I see you drinking yours, a little pink drink there. Awesome, way to go. It's on cue. You had it all queued up for me. It's a great product, and especially now with the new formula, it's an incredible product for both men and women, and children actually. So also ARIIX Success, every week I say this, but yesterday's ARIIX Success was one for the books. You don't want to miss these. Now we post them on the ARIIX Corporate North America Facebook page afterwards. So I'm not suggesting that if you're not there, you miss it, but there is something about being there live, being a part of it while it's live that is different. It's unique. You do not want to miss it. So please, if you do not have this scheduled in, you want to be there on Monday afternoons, 3 o'clock p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Now, let's go through our title advancements. I'm going to start with team lead, and I'm going to say what I say every week, and that is, please, if you're on camera, let's see applause, especially at these lower ranks, because these lower titles. When I say lower, I just mean lower in the ladder of success. I don't mean lower in the sense of accomplishment, because team lead is the first step. You can't take 5 or 6 steps until you take your first step. So for me, this is I love celebrating our new team leads. There's going to be a time in the future where we won't be able to do that. There's just going to be too many. We've had weeks like that, but now is the time to celebrate. So Patty Luke Gerber from South Dakota, Glenda Johnson from Alabama, Amy Zainia from Michigan, Greg Collins, Arizona, Brenda Campbell, Alabama, Tam and Henry Clark from Florida. Matt Robinson, Colorado. Crystal Ragland from Texas. Morris D. Hoffman III from Arkansas. Eva Ferguson from Arkansas. Levi and Ruth Ann Yoder from Missouri. Thomas Malmberg from Florida. John Batistas from New Hampshire. Daryl Hardy from California. Jasper White from North Carolina. Lori Thibault from Washington. Norma Monterez from Colorado. Renee Knight from Michigan. And in Canada, Harris Haniff from British Columbia. Lynn Marie M. Germain from Ontario. And Nancy Cheng from British Columbia. Let's hear it for our new team leads. That's awesome. Way to take that first step. Now, new senior team leads. Clearly the second step in your journey. Jocelyn Fraser from Virginia. Teresa Antonio from California. Susan Meng from Texas. Mary Baumgardner from Wisconsin. Ana Rosa Perez from Texas. Mary Allen from North Carolina. Shauna Boyd from Texas. Donna Gordon from Arizona. Sherry Turner from Iowa. Rachel Matheson from California. Amadeo Rivera Garcia from California. That's my new favorite name today. Mary Lynn McKitchern from British Columbia. Kirsten Nicoline from British Columbia. Xiao Lan Hao from British Columbia. Joanne Dosty from Quebec. And André Forget from Quebec. Here's for our new senior team leads. Congratulations. New supervisors. Frederick Hogan from Michigan. Zach and Emily Brown from Tennessee. Ronald White from Alabama. Sue Habor from Michigan. Cherie Ann A. Mangalo from California. Charina Simbilio from California. Mark Havens from Texas. Kimberly Goodell from New Hampshire. Ashley Corbin from Texas. And Diana Kong from British Columbia. Giovanna Catalanotto from Ontario. Guess that's my new favorite name. Matthew Smith and Melanie Belanger from Quebec. And Xiao Mi Shi from British Columbia. Let's hear it, new supervisors. Congratulations. That's awesome. New senior supervisors. Dave Johnson from Michigan. Elisa Cassell from Oklahoma. Deborah Stevenson from Florida. Todd Ellis from Mississippi. Eva Saunders Jizwaik from Colorado. Patricia Can from Florida. Dina Lou MS from Florida. Brian Chu from North Carolina. Maria de la Luz Cervantes de Leon from California. Armida Corrales from Colorado. Ming Yu from Rhode Island. Lisa and Patrick Mason from Maryland. And Josh Pineda from California. Congratulations, new senior supervisors. Hey. And from new managers, Monique White from California. Ilanit Lebanon from California. Robbie and Paulina Alberto from California. Ailina Rosale Gumpal de la Cruz from California. And in Canada, Anne Han from British Columbia. Jingting Zhang from British Columbia. Marie-France MFS Savard from Quebec. And Kathy Leek from British Columbia. Congratulations, new managers. New senior managers. Diane Dahl Stevens from Texas. Carrie Riedel from Kansas. And Carrie was on our one of our calls. I think it was on A-Team. Or maybe on this call, actually. Sheila Hoffman from Arkansas. Let's hear it for our new senior managers. Way to go. Yay. New vice presidents. We're getting serious now. We skipped director. And what I usually say about director and above is that you start creating a secondary income that is substantial. Gives you some options as you start thinking about replacement income, where you're going to go, what your new goals are. Vice president is a big deal. Sandy Tam from British Columbia. Let's hear it for Sandy. Way to go. Congratulations, Sandy. Well done. New vice president. That's very exciting. New officer. Officers really getting serious. Now we're getting into some big money. Eunice Leroch from British Columbia. Let's hear it. For Canada, way to go, Eunice. That's awesome, from British Columbia. So one more time, let's hear it for our rank advancements, title advancements tonight. Congratulations to all of you. It's very exciting. And we have a special transformation, and I'm going to show you a before and after picture and introduce our guest. She also needs a translator, so I'm going to welcome one of our additional guests tonight, Mr. Stephange Page. I made you a co-host, so you can unmute yourself. And also Elena Bernier.
And it's actually going to be Claudia, so it's even better for translator.
Whoa! So way to go, Claudia. But is it Helena on as well?
Yes, she is.
Hello.
Oh, Helena, welcome. Bonsoir.
Merci.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So tell us about your transformation. I love this picture. It's awesome.
La première photo, il y a 2 mois, puis la deuxième, ben c'est quand même v'là 2-3 jours.
So the first picture is 2 months old, and the second picture is about 3 days old.
Mm.
Vas-y.
Alors, Elena, partage-nous ton histoire. Comment est-ce que c'était avant, puis comment est-ce que tu as fait le programme, puis maintenant tes résultats, puis tout ça. On veut connaître ton histoire.
OK. Ben en fait, moi, j'étais pas une personne qui faisait vraiment attention. Puis, ça me décourageait vraiment de prendre des produits parce que j'ai déjà essayé auparavant avec autre chose. Puis, c'était pas vraiment une réussite. Mais au point où ce que j'en étais rendue...
Attends un petit peu, on va traduire.
So, she said that it was really hard for her because whenever she would try to lose weight, she would get very discouraged because it was too hard. So buying products to lose weight wasn't something that she wanted to do because she knew that she was going to be disappointed because it happened to her in other programs with other companies previously. Vas-y, Elena.
C'est ça. Puis au point où j'en étais rendue, ben c'est important de commencer à faire attention. Donc, j'ai vu un super post sur Facebook de Mireille Chevalier qui montrait qu'elle avait perdu du poids. Elle mettait sa main dans ses pantalons pour montrer tout le poids qu'elle avait perdu, puis ça a attiré mon attention.
So she, health-wise and at her age, she was like, it's really time for me to take care of my health and my weight. This couldn't go on. So she was actually surfing on Facebook and she fell on a post from Mireille Chevalier, another person in the team. And Mireille was just telling her transformation story in her post, like showing her weight loss with her pants. So not giving any numbers or anything, just showing the pants. And Elena was like really impressed with her presentation and the authenticity of the post. So that's when she started asking questions.
Puis là, j'ai défilé dans son profil, puis je me suis rendu compte qu'elle était à la recherche de partenaires. Donc, je me suis posé la question, puis on était à 6 jours du défi Slimming. Donc, j'ai embarqué dans la grande équipe, puis c'est là que ça a débuté.
So what happened after she saw that post, so she started stalking her wall because she was intrigued. She wanted to know who she was and what was the full story. And while she was scrolling, she landed on a post that Mireille was saying that she was looking for 5 new partners to work with as a team. And she was really, really curious about all of that. So she wrote to her and found out that found out that we had actually a slenderized group opening in 6 days, because we have those every month, and there was one opening in 6 days. So that's when she decided to embark in the journey as a client and to see whatever the story behind all of this was.
Oui, c'est ça. Puis, ben, c'est ça. La première semaine, j'ai été quand même sceptique à prendre les gouttes. Puis, je me suis rendu compte que finalement, l'appétit, la satiété arrivait, puis je pouvais m'en rendre compte, ce qui était pas possible avant. Je n'étais pas à l'écoute. Puis, par curiosité, le sucre ne m'a pas du tout manqué pendant cette semaine-là, ce qui est vraiment un exploit pour ma part, parce que je mangeais vraiment beaucoup de sucre. Puis, c'est vraiment pas compliqué, là. C'est vraiment pas difficile. Fait à partir de là, la première semaine... Oui?
Hold on!
So when she started for the first week, she was very, very skeptical. She couldn't believe that little drops were actually going to help her lose the weight. So she was kind of in it. She actually respected everything, but she couldn't believe that after a week, she actually realized that her hunger was controlled. So she could actually hear her body telling her, that's enough, you don't need more food. And the other thing that she realized is that it was the first time in her life, actually, that she wasn't thinking about sugar. And that's something that for her is like never heard of. She would actually, this is something that she told me personally. She didn't say that now, but she used to eat before going to bed really, really sugary stuff. And that craving actually went away on the drops.
Wow.
La première semaine, j'ai éliminé 8 livres. Donc, la peur d'embarquer sur la balance puis d'avoir fait ces efforts-là avec pas de résultats, ça me faisait peur. Mais quand j'ai vu ça, ça a été vraiment le coup de pouce pour vraiment me motiver à continuer. J'ai terminé le premier défi avec 17 livres en moins. Et
okay,
puis...
Stop. So after the first week, every week we have a weigh-in in the group, and she was really afraid to get on the scale because she didn't want to be disappointed, because she said, with all the effort I made, I didn't eat sugar, I was really good with the food. What if I get on the scale and there's no difference? But at her surprise, she was down 8 pounds in 1 week. So that was insane for her, and it actually gave her more motivation to actually keep going, and her belief in the program was actually way up there, and it just made it easier.
Alors, en ayant embarqué des clientes avec moi, je me suis rendu compte que c'était difficile pour certaines de pouvoir manger sainement, puis d'avoir le temps de cuisiner. Donc, j'ai commencé à faire des plats selon le défi Slimming pour les gens qui avaient de la difficulté. Et puis, j'ai eu une personne qui a pris 2 semaines de repas, donc 14 repas par semaine. Et puis, la première semaine, il a éliminé 8 livres. Donc, ça a été vraiment encourageant. Puis, à partir de là, ben, je me rends compte que moi, j'adore cuisiner. Donc, puis je fais vraiment selon le défi Slimming. Fait qu'il y a beaucoup de résultats à avoir. Puis, est-ce que je peux dire que j'ai perdu 27 livres au total depuis le 29 juillet?
Okay, so one thing I forgot to say the first time around is that after her first challenge, she actually lost a total of 17 pounds. And then at the second challenge, she actually had clients. So she turned to a rep and she had clients on the challenge with her. And she loved the program so much and the recipes that we were sharing in that group that she decided to start cooking and given the options to her clients to buy the food that she was cooking that respected the Slenderize program. And she actually had one client that took 2 complete weeks of food, Slenderize approved food made by her. And in the first week, the client lost 8 pounds. And that's when she realized that she loves cooking. And especially now that she knows that cooking, knowing what you're eating and putting the love and the effort in the food just makes it even better when you eat it, and the results are way better. So she's really happy. And after the second challenge, she is down 27 pounds.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Super.
Beautiful.
Merci, Elena.
Merci à vous.
Yeah, merci.
Ciao.
Bye-bye. Bonsoir. Thank you. That's awesome. Our next guest is no big surprise because it was sent out in the email, but no secret, one of my favorite people on the planet, chairperson, a member of the Partners Council, just an incredible person, a doctor, Dr. Ginger Decker, and she's going to share with us a little bit more about the probiotics. So we're excited about to have her on the call, and she's excited to be here. So Ginger, are you there? I unmuted you.
Okay.
There you are. Yay.
Awesome. I am so excited to be here to talk about this product, because this product is not that our other products don't change lives, but this product is really going to change lives because it's getting to the root of so many problems. And we're going to learn a little bit about that. So I don't know how much time I have, but I'm just going to take the time I need to explain this product, if that's all right, Rick. Okay, cool. All right. So first of all, the product is a probiotic and it's called probiotiix. But it's spelled the kind of fun way that we spell our ARIIX products with the 2 I's. So I absolutely love that because not only does it say what it is, but it says it in our own special way. So that's the first awesome thing. The second thing is you will notice it has the ARIIX gold seal of approval on the bottle. What does that mean? Well, that means you've got the highest standards, the most picky eyes looking at the ingredients and the certifications that we have. So it's safe, it's effective, and it's what I like to call clean. So we don't have to worry about artificial this, that, and the other. We've got that covered. And so that's what that, on all of our ARIIX Gold Seal of Approval products, you'll see our little gold seal right on the label. Okay, so we need to talk about what is a probiotic and what is it used for. But before we even get to the product, we need to talk a little anatomy. Let's talk about the area that this is focused in, and that is the gut. Now, I'm not talking about like someone with a gut, right? Like that's kind of the slang version of the term gut. The gut actually has a medical reference in that it represents your digestive tract. It's another name for your digestive tract. That literally runs, if you were in Texas, you saw the anatomically correct gut that we displayed. I was holding on to the lips, and Deanna was in the middle, and then Todd Rowland was at the end, basically. So it goes from the lips, the esophagus, which is the pipe that goes down into your stomach. Then we have the small intestine, the large intestine, the anus, and then, you know, boop, out the other end, right? So that is the gut. But in reference to the gut, most people kind of think of that, even though it means kind of all of that. And it also includes the accessory organs. So that would be the liver, the pancreas, even the gallbladder, all the things that contribute to digestion are part of the digestive tract or the gut. But when you say the gut, what most people are really thinking about, aside from a big gut, is your intestines. And that's really where we're going to focus in on tonight, although we do need to talk about some of those other pieces to the puzzle. Okay, so the gut is also looked at as your second brain. Because as I mentioned earlier, getting to the root cause of the problem, your gut, did you know 70% of your immune system is in your gut? So if you don't have a healthy digestive tract, guess what? It kind of makes sense. It's kind of a little bit of common sense there. You're not going to have the rest of your body being healthy, because if your digestive system isn't absorbing nutrients and doing and eliminating waste and all those things, then obviously that's going to have a cascade in all other areas of the body. So gut issues can be wide and varied, and I'll just point out we don't treat, diagnose, or cure, but we are going to talk about some health challenges as it relates to the gut. So we have gas. and bloating and diarrhea and constipation, and stomach pain, all those, uncomfortable things to talk about. But we all go through them, or if we don't, we have in our lives at some point. But then we have unexplained weight loss, unexplained weight gain. We have brain fog, which most people don't connect that with your gut, but that's huge. In fact, I talked to someone today and she talked about, she's got some intestinal issues and she's like, I have this, this brain fog. And the first thing I recommended was, are you taking any probiotics, and have you? And she said yogurt. And that's a whole other conversation, but that's not what we're talking about here when we're talking about probiotics. Okay. So if you're tired and run down, if you're moody, who doesn't know someone who's kind of moody, right? Getting your gut and healthy can actually help with that, things you don't think about. And then I know this is the term that Deanna uses, dragon breath, right? That dragon breath, right? That's coming from the gut. Same thing goes with your animals, with your dog. You can, if they've got that breath, there's something going on there. So those are some of the things, not all, but some of the ways you know that your gut is literally in a rut. So I was excited to bring on this probiotic, and it's, as with all of our other products, I'm going to differentiate some key things that are really going to help you see the light if you're taking a probiotic currently, but also be able to share this with others. Number one is, what is a probiotic? Well, the word probiotic, let's just define it. Pro means good, biotic means bacteria. So it's that good bacteria in your gut. And there is a balance of good to bad in your gut that's healthy. Unfortunately, when people have many of the issues that I mentioned earlier, as well as everything from diverticulitis, Crohn's disease, celiac disease, any disease that involves the gut, there's oftentimes a relationship between the good to bad bacteria. If you kind of think of it as a war, or a battle, I should say, because we're going to win the war with probiotics, but there's a battle going on in your gut, and you've got the bad guys that have taken over the good guys and kind of almost defeated them to where they're barely alive. That's when probiotics come in. So when you take probiotics, the good guys, basically what you're doing is you're recolonizing, you're regrowing, you're infusing some energy into the good guys so that they can do their job, take over the bad guys. There's always some bad guys around, but you want more good guys than bad guys. I like to make it really simple, but that's kind of the battle that's going on in the gut. So we want to win the war and get the balance back in line. And, unfortunately, antibiotics, anti means against, biotic means bacteria. So against bacteria, antibiotics can kind of mess that up. Not to say that, stop taking antibiotics, but if you're taking antibiotics, you definitely want to replenish the good guys, before you go on your merry way, or you might have some issues. So when it comes to probiotics, there's some key differentiations and almost some like essentials that you have to have in order to have a good product. And I think a lot of these are just going to make common sense. Number one is the packaging, which most people don't really think about. But these are living organisms. Probiotics are living organisms. They're alive, right? And they're very picky. They're very delicate. They're very sensitive to light, to moisture, to temperature. So you don't want to refrigerate your probiotics because there's many strains that are very sensitive to cold. So I know a lot of people tend to do that, but we don't want you to do that here. And in the packaging, one of the big essentials is you want a dark glass bottle. Now, we don't normally deal in glass, but we wanted to with this product because we understand that any kind of moisture from plastic or any other, kind of container that you can use can disrupt the moody living organisms and make them not very happy and make them not even survive. So we've got the glass dark because they like dark, like room temperature spaces is what they like. Okay, so we've got that covered. Next is, let's see, what should I cover next? The strains. How about the strains? So many companies are out there that have, certain strains, but they're not a wide variety of strains. And we have lots of different critters, literally 1 trillion different in our gut and by far. And so we want to make sure that we're replenishing those. So we literally have more than anyone that I've seen. We have 15 different strains of probiotics. A lot of the companies you'll see 4 or 5, so they don't have that diversity that we have. And we have 15 strains. We don't have time to go into the details of each one of them, what they do. But the bottom line is we've got you covered in all the different areas. And you'd be shocked. Remember I talked about mood and brain fog and different things. It's not just about what's going on with your digestion. It's 70% of your immune system is your gut. So we've got that variety of strains with the diversity. going on there, but we also included the prebiotics. Prebiotics is the food for the probiotics. It's the superfood, so to speak. We'll speak our language, right? For the probiotics. And so we've got that included. And so when you look on the label, you'll see a prebiotic inulin, and that's what that is. That is the food for the probiotics. So we've got those strains, substrains, the probiotics. It's going to make your gut happy, your digestive system moving and flowing properly with that broad spectrum. All right, next we have, and this is sort of a marketing battle, and it's very frustrating to see the false claims out there. I know if you were in Texas or if you watched the presentation, Deanna kind of covered some of these, but I want to stress this because this is a place where a lot of companies can wow you with their marketing, but then they really have a crappy product. So that is in reference to the CFUs. So you'll see CFUs in reference to probiotics, and what that means is colony forming units, the CFUs. And this is where companies, this is kind of some of the dirty little secrets that the probiotic companies don't want you to know, is how to read a label. And I'll kind of give you the lowdown. Just like if you've ever purchased a bag of chips and on the front it has the marketing and it might say no trans fats. But if you know what trans fats are and you flip the bag over on the nutrition label where they actually have to tell you the truth, and you look in the ingredients and you see hydrogenated soybean oil, that's a trans fat. And you say, how can they get away with putting no trans fat on the front when there's clearly trans fats on the back? That's because there's a loophole in the law that says if less than 0.5 grams of trans fats is in a product, you can say there's none. So they adjust the serving size. So similarly with the probiotics, companies can say they have 1 trillion CFUs, and you're like, wow, this one has more than any other one I've ever seen. But then when you look on the back, that's where the little disclaimers are. So I'm going to read a couple of them to you. So some companies have the wow factor on the front, but you got to flip it over and kind of see what they're saying on the back. So there's no potency guarantees and on many of them, and lots of conditions. So here's one of them. Storage and handling conditions can vary and may affect the total amount of cells delivered at time of consumption. Another one, the one that has 1 billion, says contains 1 billion CFUs when manufactured, and 10 million CFUs until the best by date. That's a tenth. That is totally false, total lies. So I love what we've done here. We have 20 billion CFUs guaranteed through the expiration date. Remember that sentence, because nobody's doing that. Through the expiration date. 20 billion CFUs guaranteed through the expiration date. We've got the proper packaging. We've got the varied strains. We've got the superfoods for the probiotics. You know, we've basically covered all the bases in terms of making sure that when the product was made and we had this wonderful, all these different strains, that it's still there, not only when you buy it, but through the expiration date. The other thing I want to point out is the delivery system that we've chosen to use is not your usual delivery system either, because again, remember, these living organisms are very picky and very moody and very sensitive. So when you're taking your capsule and it hits the stomach acid would kill probably all of them, right? So we want it to get through the stomach into the small intestines, because that's where they're going to grow, right? In the small intestines. So we've used a vegan, I love that, capsule, but it's a very special one in that it's time released, it's delayed breakdown. And we actually have a study that shows that breakdown. So it actually gets through the acids in the stomach into the small intestines, where then the probiotics can get there and start colonizing and beat the bad guys. So we really have all the bases covered, but our diversity, our packaging, our delivery system, the variety, there's like 4 or 5 different things just to remember, just from what I've said. I can't remember them all, but they're the important things that you want to stress when someone's like, oh, I'm already taking a probiotic. You can ask them, well, is it this, you know, go through those things that I mentioned. So that's the lowdown on the probiotics. I really feel like we almost have like everything we need here. I mean, I'm sure we could come up with a few extra products here and there, but this is, I always talk about the optimals, the Magna-Cal D, the fish oil, if you do fish oil, as your foundational nutrition. This is your sub-foundation, right? We've got to have a strong sub-foundation, or none of the other stuff is going to matter. If your gut is messed up, you're not going to be able to absorb the nutrients that you need to, right? And get the benefits from all the other products. So the cool thing is, this is our 28-day supply. So our usual 28 days that we do. You take 1 capsule, preferably probably in the morning, but you know, maybe an hour or 2 before you eat. That's all you take, is you take one. Now, some people have asked, oh, if you don't swallow pills, what do you do? Well, if you don't swallow pills, then this isn't a product for you, because again, they're very sensitive. And so you don't want to open up the capsule and pour it in and drink it down. We're putting the age as 11 and above. Because 11-year-olds and above can usually swallow. So just wanted to point that out as well. I think I covered all the bases with it. Oh, antibiotics. If you're taking antibiotics, of course you want to be taking this on a daily basis anyway through your antibiotics. But if you're maybe introducing this to someone who's never done probiotics before, but maybe you know they're on antibiotics, or maybe they've been on lots of antibiotics because they've been sick and they're kind of messed up health-wise, and you're introducing this to them, let them know not only do they take it during the antibiotics, but a minimum of 3 to 7 days after it's usually 10 days of antibiotics, 3 to 7 days after, again, to recolonize, and then hopefully ongoing. But at the minimum, you want to recolonize after a dose of antibiotic, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
Well,
awesome.
I hope that's helped, giving you some pointers on how to share it. I hope it's gotten excited about the product that hopefully you have on hand. I've got plenty of them. And Rick, throw it back to you.
Perfect. Thank you so much. That's a complete mic drop. I only have one thing that I can actually add, and that is, even with all of that, this product is priced so competitively, not just in the MLM world, on the retail shelf.
Totally.
This price is really well positioned. So with everything else, so you don't have to say, oh, well, the reason why it's more expensive is because it has all of this stuff, which it does. But the reality is, it's even priced point very well positioned. So with all that, thank you. Yeah, thank you so much. And to finish off the call, let me get my share screen. Two more of my favorite people, and you've already heard from Claudia. I don't know if she's staying on, Stefan, or if she's giving you solo on this one, but chairperson, partners council members, and I just have so much love and respect for these two individuals. So please take it away, Stefan, and either with Claudia or sans Claudia. It's all yours. The floor is yours. Hey, Claudia.
All right. Well, we never know what we're going to talk about. You know, we jump on these ARIIX Live, and then the call is yours. So we're going to figure out as we go. But basically, I think we all know that the timing, everything is exciting right now. We're all hearing left and right. We get on webinars and we're motivated. We're excited. All right. And personally, I know that, for many, many years, I've been not successful longer than I have been successful in the business. Okay. And so sometimes you look at that, you hear all the success stories, you hear about the growth, and I know, because I was in that group where I'm thinking, okay, it's all great, it's all fun, it's all exciting, but how do I actually capitalize on all of this? And I seem to do some work, but then I slow down and I stop. And then, I'm thinking, boy, am I really going to take advantage of this? And of course, there's I call this the tsunami. Like a couple weeks ago, I said, it's not a wave that's coming, it's a tsunami. And I hope I'm pronouncing correctly. But anyway, but the thing is, I was talking about, I said, you don't have time to just swim. You got to run. You got to go crazy. Now, all of this is good, but how do you apply it to yourself with your own situation, right? Because I remember about 2 years ago, I'm always buying courses and attending, trainings and all of that. And I remember someone talked about the 4 types of people. And these 4 types of people use different motivation, different things to motivate them to get into action. Because quite frankly, if any one of you is stuck or not moving forward, or moving forward but slowing down, and there's reasons, there's usually some motivation behind it, that either it propels you or it doesn't, right? And so when I'm looking at those 4 types, I'd like to show them to you, those 4 types, because you will personally identify, yourself and see what you need to do to motivate yourself to get into action and take advantage of this situation. Or you're going to look at your team and you're going to identify people, and you're now going to be able to see what motivates them. how do you get them into action? And just to share a real quick story, because I'm with Rick here. I remember about a year and a half, 2 years ago, he called Claudia and I, and he says, hey, we're coming. What's the date? When are we, we're coming to Quebec. And I say, well, when can you? And then we set up a time, and I'm like, oh boy, we're screwed. Because what are we going to do? Because we've been building around the world, in other markets in Asia and Europe, but then here, not much. And so Rick and Allison kicked us in the behind to get in motion and take action and move forward. And I just want to thank you for that, because you guys were instrumental in what happened in Quebec. So I'm going to just share my screen real quick, and I'm going to go through this. It's not going to take long, but I just want to make sure you guys really see this. So here are the 4 types of people, okay? Type number 1, level number 1 is people who are content and lazy. So they're happy with where they are. They're happy with their current situation. They could do more. They could accomplish more, but things are okay. They're just, enjoying life, and it's all good, right? Now, that could be you. So what does it take for you to go from being content, being happy with what you're doing, and actually not doing anything? What do you have to do? Well, what you need is a major event in your life. Typically, that's what happens, okay? I remember my back against the wall, financially stressed, my kids were growing up, and I felt I absolutely needed to make a change. And there's something that happened in our life with our kids that I thought, oh boy, like now I need to show up to what I've been teaching our kids. And so a major event typically is what makes it for you. Unfortunately, because there's not much else that you can do besides that major event. And things happen, and especially right now. And here's the thing you need to remember, is all of these different types of people, you're going to see that right now, everything is influencing all of them. Because right now, with the pandemic, with the situation, people have their back against the wall. People are stuck at home. People are stressed. People are looking for other solutions. So that's why right now there's a huge movement in our company, in our business, because of that. So the people who are at that level, most of them are facing major events. Okay, so that's 1. Let's go to level 2. Level 2 is people who are competitive. They want better things. They want to change their life, but they're just not doing anything. What do you do with those people? Let's look at that. So what you do with those people is they need to sit down and make a decision. Am I in? Am I out? What do I do? And sometimes it's just reviewing their goals and looking at what not accomplishing the goals will result. How will you feel if you don't actually accomplish the goal? Because looking at the goal sometime, which is, I want to spend more time with my family. Well, it's a great goal, but what will happen is if you actually never do that, oh boy, that can make you think a little bit harder about, wow, I need to make a change. And there needs to be a sense of urgency. Well, look at this situation right now. I'm sure all of you are thinking, oh my goodness, I got to, get in movement. I got to get things going. Because it's happening left and right. All these people are rank advancing. The markets are growing. The company is growing. Like there's so much happening. So this creates a sense of urgency right now. So when I'm saying the 4 groups are motivated right now because of multiple factors, that's what's going on with this group. Let's go to level 3. It's people who are content, but they're hardworking. And that used to be my situation, I would say maybe a year ago. Right? Because here's what was happening. We had never made this much money in our life. We were making money. Things were good. We were traveling like 10 times a year. Things were, it was awesome. We were just living the life. But we were hardworking. We just worked and work and work and do webinars and do stuff. But we were happy. Right? So what do you do when you're in that situation? Let me show you. What you do is you need to put yourself in a bigger environment. And what I did at that time is I started to look at other leaders in the company that were achieving more. And I started to think, wow, we could do that too. Why are we stuck here? I mean, there's so much more, and we had bigger goals. But even though the bigger goals were there, we were content. Okay, so then we started to look at that, and we definitely were, how do we say that? Like we really thought, okay, we need to get into action and look at those people and really put ourselves in front of those people. So we got on webinars, we got on their Facebook profile, we checked them out because I wanted this inspiration. And the other thing you need to do in that stage is to feed your mind with books, with events, with all of that, so that you can start to look at all the things you can accomplish, that there's so much more to do and to be and to become and all of that. Then that's what you need to do at that level, okay? And always think about your team. Like there's someone in your team who's at that level. So these are the things you need to do with them. And the last level is competitive and hardworking. These are people who just, they're not gonna stop. They're going after the thing. They're really motivated and they're working hard. They're doing the events and they're all over the place. What those people need, and you think, okay, they've reached everything, like they don't need anything more to motivate them. Well, they do need something else. They need actually that recognition. Right? They need that recognition to show that you appreciate them. They're doing great things. Put them on the stage, get them on the webinars, do those things. They need the recognition, okay, to validate that what they're doing is the right thing. And the second thing they need is they need a new challenge, because very often once they reach their next goal, they could actually fall into the third level, which is content, hardworking. You don't want that. So what you want is you want to always have new challenges in front of them to get to the next level. So there you have it. Those are the 4 levels. Look at where you are and understand when you look at those things, understand that that's why ARIIX is going so fast right now. Because everybody in each one of those categories is feeling the urgency, the need, the desire, the new challenges, like all of these things are motivating every single group. And that's why all of us are right now rising with this company. And so look at those and check which one of those you need to use to motivate you to get to the next level. So there you have it, little tips for you today, and hope this has been helpful.
Very much so, Stephan. Thank you so much for that. It really puts things in perspective. And I, a lot of times, and I've said this on many calls where you and I are together, and Claudia can laugh at this one, but I love when people say, "Oh, he's got everything going for him. He's handsome. He speaks well. He's all those things." That wasn't you to start out, and they think, "Oh, he's so lucky," and that was not you to start out. So somebody posted on here, if you haven't had a chance to hear Stephan's story, look it up. It's on YouTube. It is fantastic, because it truly is a perfect example of just staying in the game. Sometimes just staying in the game and putting the effort in, like you said, hardworking. Eventually, for everyone, if that's your formula, will work out. And it's a great story. So thank you.
Yeah, maybe one day I'll come back and share that story, because there's lots of new people. But the thing is just understand that it won't take years and years for you to succeed in this business if you're really consistent on a daily basis. And so we very often overwhelm ourselves with so much to do. I got to prospect a lot of people. And then what would happen if tomorrow you're out of shape and you say, I'm going to climb this mountain, and you go like crazy and you run? You're never going to get to the top. You're going to be exhausted. You're probably going to vomit over there. You're not going to feel good about the experience, and you're going to stop. But what if you just say, okay, I'm going to just do it every single day, and you climb a little bit, but you don't put too much effort, but just a little bit, and you're consistent. You develop that habit. It's going to take about a week, depending on the mountain, before you get to the top, and without all this bad feeling, right? You're going to get to the top and you're going to feel good, and you'll have developed a habit to go and do it. And so my suggestion is don't overwhelm yourself with too much. Yeah. What's important is you develop the regular habit. So every day, just say, I'm going to reach out to 2 people. I'm going to message 2 people on Messenger. I'm going to post something on Facebook, and I'm going to see who commented, who liked. Can I find 2 people I can message? Just reconnect with them. That's it. So if you do that every single day, then you're going to get by a week or 2, you can bump it up to 3. to 4 to 5, but you got the habit going, and that's the key. And after that,
Yeah.
forget this. So
Beautiful. Awesome. Thank you. Dr. Ginger, thank you for your explanation of a fantastic product. Elena and Claudia for the translation. Thank you. What a great inspired story. And as I always do on this call, I have a very short quote tonight, but it might be a good one. You cannot have a positive life and a negative mind. So with that, I'm going to unmute the lines. Thank you, everybody. Stephange.